You're watching the Daily Rut, and I'm Leo, and I'm on another little excursion, I guess, to go somewhere. Uh, Decided I would go to the city today, which, when I say the city, uh, there's different versions of what I mean by that. And one is the city, as in, like, the cities, as in Minneapolis, St. Paul, which I never go into those cities, actually. I go into the outer skirts of the city, which is normal person areas. So I don't really care for going inside the city at all, especially Minneapolis after all the stuff I went through with Olivia dying and all that stuff, and having to drive down there every single day just about to see her in a hospital and watch her suffer. Uh, that's not exactly my favorite place in the world. So, especially the hospital there. I wish that hospital would kind of go bankrupt at this point. Anyway, so I'm driving down to the city, and I just figured I would do a vlog. Hopefully, it's not too loud for you because it's really, really windy out today, and it's irritating because just the other day it was like 70. It was like warming up in Minnesota. And of course, today it's high winds, and it's 42, which wouldn't be bad if it wasn't windy. But of course, it's really cold wind blowing. So I have my winter coat on again, and it's just like we're going back into winter again. And that's usually how it goes in Minnesota. So it's not a big surprise, really, but it's kind of irritating. So anyway, I figured I would just kind of do my vlog on the road, because it's kind of irritating to have you see me inside my house just sitting in one spot all the time. And I think that that's kind of boring for a video, I guess. So I figured, why not just do a vlog while I'm driving? So that's what I'm doing. Now, this video doesn't have to be very long. I don't want to make it super long, but I just figured I would talk about whatever as I'm driving a little bit, because I have like 50 minutes to get before I get to where I'm going. So just something I figured I would do. I used to do this quite a bit back in the day when I was in between jobs. I was an Uber driver, actually. I have this little rule, I guess, that I came up with, that if I lose a job or I quit a job or whatever, usually I lose it or whatever if I'm going to move to another job, or like something suddenly. But anyway, that if that happens, if I get laid off or whatever, anyway, and then I decide that the next job that I get after that has to be something completely different than the one I was doing. So for the longest time, I was doing like factory work and just the most boring, insanely boring stuff. And that, that's nothing. I'm not going to talk about the work. But when I got let go there because they decided to go corporate and destroy everything with corporate nonsense and whatever. So when they did that, I decided I need to do something different. But when they let me go, they basically laid me off. But I knew I wasn't going to be able to come back, so it was kind of like a good way to go. So what I did then at that point is I decided maybe I'll do Uber, because I keep seeing these stupid little emails or ads or whatever that people keep sending to me. That's Uber. Oh, you make this much money during Uber. So I decided at the time that I would do Uber. Now, I had a stick shift at the time. A lot of these younger people don't know what a stick shift is, probably, but that's manual transmission. So doing that as an Uber driver is kind of irritating, especially when I found out, when I finally got my vehicle all set up and ready to go, and I got started Uber, that I couldn't do it up here in the countryside, basically, because there's virtually no video. There's nobody calling you or using the app to get an Uber up here. So then I had to drive all the way down 50 minutes like I'm doing today. I'm kind of going down in that area. all the way down to the city, which is why I said the cities, that this is what I'm talking about, 50 minutes away. So I had to drive down there. And of course, that means that people are going to want me to take them into the inner city, downtown Minneapolis, downtown St. Paul, what I call the nightmare cities, the places that I don't want to ever be. I hate those places. I just can't stand how cram-packed everything is. Everybody just walks across the street. They're always in the way. Bikers want to cut you off, and they have more rights than the drivers, all that stuff. So I decided, yeah, I would do be an Uber driver or whatever. I wanted to see how much money it made, actually. It was more like a test than anything, because I was already getting unemployment at the time. And I think it was wrapping up, or I don't know what it was. Anyway, so I did Uber, and you make money, but you don't make money. It's really weird. It's like you're spending all your money on gas and driving around, but you also have money to go out and buy stuff just randomly right then, So it's hard to explain. But at the end of the year, or whatever, when you pay your taxes, you basically make, like, you find out that you pretty much just didn't make any money, which was good, because that, or I shouldn't say was good, which was not a surprise, because I kind of knew that when I was doing it. I felt like I was just kind of spinning in a cycle and never actually getting anywhere. Now I know the people who are downtown all the time, and they're just right there on top of everything. Those people probably make a good chunk of money, but you have to be a super Uber driver, like, to be making good money. And once again, I hope this video isn't like making a lot of noises because of the wind outside and the driving. But I got this mic right here. I don't want to move, because I feel like these little mics are kind of really tricky, because they want to make noise and scrap, like, sound effects whenever I move. So getting back to Uber, though, when I was doing Uber, though, I got a lot of experience with a lot of other people that's random, like different kinds of people. It made me kind of come out of my box, just kind of get out of myself, because I'm kind of an introvert, okay? Yeah, I'm doing a vlog and I'm an introvert. Yeah, okay. Anyway, and so I had to kind of deal with people. So I kind of had to quickly learn real quick how people are. I had some really good experiences. The good experiences, I would say first, because I always want to, I'd like to talk about the positive, I guess. But I do seem to mention a lot of negative stuff on here, so I just kind of wonder sometimes if I'm being a little too negative sometimes. But I ended up kind of going and doing Uber and running into some cool people. I met this African guy who got in my car. His name was Enoch. Okay, that's a book that used to be in the Bible. They cut it out for some reason. In Africa, it's still in the Bible. And the Book of Enoch, the original book, there's knockoff versions that are fake. But Jesus did quote the Book of Enoch, so it's not like it wasn't quoted in the Bible. But anyway, Enoch got in the car, and I'll never forget that name, because I like this guy a lot. He sat down in the car. He was like traveling 15 minutes. I think it was like a 15-minute drive. So he got in the car, and he starts talking to me about America and different things. And he starts talking about how African Americans, as he said, they really are all complaining about race all the time. And he said he doesn't understand it. Sorry, my voice is going to go apparently. So he was just kind of complaining about Americans in this country, complaining about everything and saying that they were a slave or whatever. And he's talking about how they never experienced slavery once in their life, and they're complaining like they need to get a check in the mail or something. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about that, because I'm sure somebody's going to get offended, because, in America, you can't go too far without somebody getting offended from anything you say. So he was a great guy, and he talked about the Bible, which was very cool. And he talked about specifically the book of Enoch, because I asked him when he got in, I said, that's a very interesting name you got there. And he's like, yeah. He's like, you know where I got my name from? And I'm like, no, I don't, but I kind of think I do. And he's like, yeah, the book of Enoch. You ever hear of the book of Enoch? And I'm like, of all the Ubers you got into today, I guarantee you this is the only one that you probably have a person who understands your name better than most people. So I told him, I'm like, yes, I have the audio book of the book of Enoch on my phone even. So I've gone through that quite a few times. I know all about it. So yeah, we talked about that and a bunch of stuff. And then I kind of wish I would have been able to drive him a couple more times when I was an Uber driver, but I never found him again, I guess. And it turns out when you're an Uber driver also, the people who are the most working class, the ones that get paid the least, it seems like they're the ones that tip the most. Because I even had ex-Uber drivers get in my car and talking about, oh, I know the system. I definitely am going to tip you because I know how this is. Not a tip. And we had no problems getting to where they needed to go. Everything was perfectly fine. There was not a problem, not a tip at all. So there's a lot of hypocrites and liars and stuff out there. But I ran across a lot of decent people during Uber, and I wish I would have become friends with them, honestly. But I had a couple bad experiences, though. I had one guy that I actually I had a bunch of racist experiences. People that actually, women that look at their phone and look at me because of my skin color, and they just say, "Oh, hell no." I can literally see them not 5 feet away from me in my window, and they look at their Uber thing, and then they put their phone in their pocket, cancel the call, cancel the thing. I don't know what that's about, but I've had that happen many times. So I guess racism works the opposite way too, doesn't it? So I couldn't believe that. I literally make it go there 10-minute drive. I get there to only hear a, oh, hell no. And I've heard that actually, oh, hell no, a couple times. Not from the same people though. And it's amazing. So what's the problem you have with me? I don't know. I guess this was before the summer of love in Minnesota, if you know what I mean, when everybody decided to burn down everything for no apparent reason that made sense anyway. So other things though, I've had people that were kind of snobby, like rich women get in my car, and they were so snobby that they're telling me where to go and how to get there. And then when I took the route that was easiest on my map that kind of gets around the traffic, they actually got mad at me and yelled at me in my car. This is my car, by the way. Anyway, and then once I get to the point where I'm going to go back on the freeway where it would have been fully loaded with traffic, okay? I knew this. They didn't, because they're in the back talking. So whatever. Anyway, and then I get onto the freeway, and after she's literally yelling at me right now at this point, and as I'm pulling on, I'm like, listen, that is what we would have been waiting in if I would have listened to you. She totally shut up, absolutely silence in this car, all three of these girls, absolutely silent, and I'm driving them to the airport. I drop them off at the airport, I get the bags out of the back for them, I do everything nice. I set it down, and then she doesn't say a word to me, and she goes into the airport, not a tip, nothing. What a pain in the ass. I mean, these people were not good. But anyway, I don't want to make this thing really long. I just wanted to kind of talk about the times that I was an Uber driver, because I thought that was kind of interesting to talk about. So tell me what you think about this in the comment section below, and thank you for watching my vlog.
Thank you for watching The Daily Rut. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this vlog.